it's like out of 10.
No problem.
From what you've seen. Don't you like animes with good stories though? But sometimes too much action though, lad, if the story's shit. For me anyways, lad. It's the same with movies, isn't it? Yeah. It's not one of my favourites. It's alright for us. But the fighting is good, but I like story as well. Too much action sometimes is like... Naruto's story is incredible.
Hey everyone, today we have a 10-step Vamana guide on how to play Vamana on the solo lane. This is mainly geared towards beginners. Each step will be specific, so you will know exactly if you follow them correctly or not. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I have a lot more smite content, mainly in Vamana, but I also do other gods. So step 1 would be your first sort of starting build. So what you would spend your 1500 gold on. So if you're up against a physical god, then you would buy Warrior's Axe, you'd buy tier 1 mystical mail, Hand of the Gods, and some potions. If you're up against magical, you'd buy Warrior's Axe, tier 1 shoguns, Hands of the Gods, and health potions. And if you don't quite know what you're up against, I'd say you can go Warrior's Axe with potions and Hands of the God. Or you could just risk it and build into mystical mail anyway, and if it's still a magical, just play it safer. But that's completely your choice. The first ability that you want to go with is your 3 ability. Now a lot of YouTubers tend to go with Vamana's 2, and I've tried this 2, I've tried this 1, I've tried this 3 over like years, and to be honest I prefer this 3. It does the most damage at level 1, and it does the most damage late game. It also has a slow, it can hit twice, it clears the wave really well. Use this 3 on the blue buff. What you want to do is you want to basic attack the blue buff. When you spawn both sets of ghost minions, then take a few steps back, then hit the 3, so that way you can hit all 5 minions. When you want to use the 3 on the wave, you want to line it up so it hits the whole wave. And at level 2, you want to get his 1 ability. So the reason why you want to get his 1 is you want to use the 1 on both the enemy guard and the minion wave. And that way, if you can knock the enemy guard up and hit the minion wave, then they're going to be CC'd for a bit. You're going to clear the wave before them, and they're going to have to try and fight you and the wave. And usually they realize that they can't, so they take a step back and take a lot of damage. So usually when you want to back is when you can afford tier 2 mystical, or you can afford tier 2 shoguns. Preferably you'd love to back with tier 2 of the item and a health chalice, but if you can't, like as in you get poked out, then just go with what you can. For your third ability, you want to get Vamana's 2, which is what a lot of people start off with. And obviously you want to use this to clear the wave, so use it to hit the whole wave, use this 3 to hit the whole wave. You can also AA cancel. If you don't know what AA cancelling is, it's like where you basic attack, immediately use an ability, then basic attack again. In the lane, you want to try and avoid using his 1. If you do use his 1, his dash, you want to use it starting from one end of the way towards your tower, so that way if you get ganked or if they chase you down, you're close to your tower and you're close to safety. If you dash from your side of the lane to the enemy side and then you get ganked, that's your 1 down and you're really like hopeless, more or less. So you want to dash towards your own tower, preferably hitting the whole wave and the enemy guard, but if not, just hit the whole wave and that's fine. So the leveling order of his ability will be his 4, which is his ult, his 3, which is his umbrella rank, his 1, which is his dash, and his 2. So 4, 3, 1, 2. I've forgotten to talk about steps. So step 5, on the lane you want to avoid trying to go into like a poke battle. So poke battle is when you both use abilities or your basic attacks to do damage to each other whilst not trying to take damage. So with Vamana, you want to avoid that. You want to focus on clearing the wave, hitting the enemy guard and the wave at the same time, and only fight them once you clear the wave. With Vamana on the solo lane, you want to farm as much as you can. So if you're playing ranked and your jungler's doing a bad job, I'd say take the jungler's camps. If you can, then Proxy, which is when you go behind the enemy's tier 1 tower and clear the wave behind the tower. And if you get ganked or you get pincered, then you just dash away, you auto away, do whatever it takes. Try and get some ward their jungle, or try and clear their jungle. That's a much more advanced play. But if you can do that, like clear the enemy jungle, that's the best thing you can do. That's better than sometimes getting kills on the solo lane, because you can get a lot of farm. And with Vamana, you just want to farm up as much as possible. I always say Vamana is a late game god. For step 6, we're going to talk about builds. So I've showed you what the starting build is, and I'll show you what the end game build is. So you want to have a build similar to what I'm going to show you on the screen. You want to go with Sundering Axe, Mystical Mail, Shoguns, Frostbound, Mantle, and for your last item, it's an attack speed item. So you can go Concise, you can go Assy, you can even try and go crit, it's your choice, but you go like a more of a damage attack speed item to try and kill people in your ult. I usually go Concise because that destroys tanks, it does a lot of damage to carries, and it's just a really nice item. Step 7 is how to actually fight with Vamana using his kit. So his best fighting potential is obviously when you're ahead, but it's also when you got like Frostbound or Hasted, so you can stick to them. But you can still fight even without those. So what you want to do is you want to get up to melee range with them, try and avoid damage, like avoid their abilities if you can. Easier said than done, but like if you can like approach them from behind or to the side, like when they're not expecting you, approach them at melee range, start basically attacking them, and when they turn to fight you in melee range, then use your 3 ability. If they use their escape, like a dash or something to run away, then use your 1 ability to chase them down. And with your 2, when you're basically attacking them, use your 2 and auto cancel using your 2. After they've dashed away and you use your 1 to chase them down, that's when you can ult and burst them down. You can't really use your ult whilst they've still got their escape up. Reason being is because if you ult and they dash away, then you can't chase them. It's really hard to chase them. So step 8 is rotations, ganking, team fights, and objectives. So on the solo lane, rotation is an interesting one. It's something that you learn with more experience. It depends on your playstyle, it depends on the match. Rotations isn't an easy answer, but what I like to do is when I am ahead and I've cleared the wave, then I may think to rotate. So usually I rotate when Gold Fury is up and I'm winning the lane. So I'll win the lane, and if I can't kill the enemy solo laner, then I'll dash to the mid lane. I'll look to hit the mid laner, get them low, and I'll pressure them. Then once I've done that, they don't have to die, but just need to get the health low. Then once I do that, I go into their jungle, try and get the assassin low, try and get a kill. If I can't do that, that's fine. Go over to dual lane, try and get them low. And just by rotating, you want to get them all low, try and get a kill with your teammates, or get one of them to back. And if they can back, then that's when you quickly go for Gold Fury. You ward up, you spam attack Gold Fury on the comms, then you go for Gold Fury, and it usually works at lower levels. At higher levels, teams are a lot more, sophisticated, and they won't give up Gold Fury that easily. They'll ward it and stuff like that. But at low levels, it works really well. Just clearing the wave in the solo lane, going to the mid, ganking the mid, ganking the jungle, ganking the solo. You don't need to kill anyone, but if they can just back or have the health slow, then go for Gold Fury. If they try to steal Gold Fury with low health, that's where you need wards to see them. And if they do that, then that's where you run up to them, you try and kill them. And like I said, if they dash away, then you dash towards them, then you try and kill them. Step 9 is where I talk about late game. So late game, you want to place as much wards as you can. I love going Charles of the Oracle and going sentries. I tell my teammates I spam them to get wards. Wards are really important because that's where you know where to group up. You want to be around objectives. You want to be near your teammates late game, clear the wave when nothing's happening. So with Vamana, you want to be an initiator. So some tanks are protect your backline, other tanks attack their backline, and Vamana's the ones where you attack them, a bit like an assassin. So if you're good in jungle, then you'll know what to do. So what you want to do is the same principle all game. You want to get up to someone in melee range. It's easier said than done because let's say if it's a Scylla, she's obviously got a root. She can root you if you just run up to her face. So you want to try and avoid the root, which is easier said than done. But the best thing to do is approach them whilst they can't see you. So approach them through their side, through behind them. So plan your routes so where they can't see you. So try and go around in their jungle and try and hit them from behind where they can't see you. Same principle, initiate with your basic attacks. If they dash away, then you obviously dash towards them. If they don't dash away, they start fighting you. Use your 3, use your 2, and just force them to like dash away. And once they've used their dash, then that's when you ult. In team fights, you want to still do the same thing, focus on one person. So you want to ignore everyone else, go up to melee range to either their carry or their mid laner or their jungler. What you want to do is you want to pick on someone that has low mobility. So if they have an amusing cab who hasn't got a dash, he's only got movement speed, then pick on him. Keep basic attacking them, keep getting them low. And if the whole team turns on you, try and dash into like a safer position. So really you want to initiate with your teammates around you. So you want to initiate their team with your teammates around you. You want to let your teammates know. And if the whole team turns and focuses you, then that's when you dash away. If you can't dash away, then that's when you ult. If the enemy team focuses you while you're in your ult, where you get extra protections, health regen, a shield regen, and all that, then that's where your teammate should clean up. It'll take the enemy team too long to kill you in your ult. By the time they do, if they do, then that's where your team should easily kill their sort of carries and their squishies in general. When you're solo queuing or you're just playing on your own, sometimes your teammates might not follow up as well, or the enemy team might just be better. In that case, then you don't want to really ult to grab attention. You kind of just want to play a lot more selfish. Want to run away wherever you can, and you almost want to play like an assassin, diving the back line, perhaps waiting for the enemy team to initiate on your support instead, then diving, using your support as like an anchor. But that's if you don't trust your teammates, or your teammates just aren't as good, or the enemy team's just way too good. Play more like an assassin, diving their backline rather than taking all the attention whilst you're in your ult. Step number 10 is just to keep practicing. So keep watching, keep playing games with Vamana, see what works best for you. If your 3 ability works best to start off with, go for that. If your 2 ability starts off best, or your 1, really just keep playing and keep practicing. Try out different builds. So on all my Vamana videos, you'll see me go with Tainted. That's because I like Tainted. It's a terrible item to go with if you're new with Vamana. That's because it doesn't have the same passive as Warrior's Axe. So it's a really bad item to go with, but because I'm so used to Vamana, I know how to play him. I sort of know the drawbacks of Tainted early game. I feel like Tainted late game, like Tainted Breastplate, is way too good, like a million times better than Sundering Axe. So for me, it's worth it. With relics, relics are a bit of an interesting one. So I like going beads if they have like a Bastet or a Fenris jungler. If they haven't, if they got like sort of a Thanatos and let's say a Kukulkan solo, you might not need beads. So you can go with Med, you can go with Horrific. It's really your choice, but the safest ones are beads or meditation. So the second relic that also comes with experience. If they have a lot of healers, I love going Kursong. That's my favourite relic. The upgraded is way too good. It's overpowered against Vamana Kursong. That's one of his weaknesses. But if they have like an Afro or if they have like a Hercules, go with Kursong and the upgraded will shred them. So the final bit of advice I would give is watch as many videos as you can. So when I first started playing. I was watching income videos, but there wasn't that much content. That's why I've created my own channel to kind of give you guys like my experience of what I've learned. So stuff like you have to build hasted or frostbound of Vamana because those items work really well. So on my channel I've also got stuff like me playing Vamana on duo, me against different matchups. So you can definitely check out my channel to learn more about how I play Vamana, how I put my tips into practice. And you don't have to follow everything that I do. If you don't like certain things that I do, like certain ways that I play, then at least you've learned how you want to play Vamana or any other god on my channel. And that's it. Just remember to have fun, try to stay calm, try not to get too frustrated. And please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.